Have you ever wondered why some people seem to make money easily while others work just as hard and struggle? The truth is, it's not just luck, talent, or timing. It's about how your mind works. Your brain controls every choice you make, every decision you act on, and every opportunity you notice. If your thinking isn't trained, you can spend years running in circles, working hard but never really getting ahead. In this video, you're going to learn how to train your brain to make more money in a practical, everyday way. You'll see how to spot opportunities that others miss, make better decisions, and develop habits that push your income higher. You'll learn how to focus when it matters, break patterns that hold you back, and take action that actually pays off. This isn't complicated theory or a magic trick. It's real, step-by-step guidance that changes the way you think, act, and grow financially. By the end, your mind will be wired to see possibilities, take control, and create results that keep building every single day. This is your chance to finally work smarter, earn more, and take charge of your financial life. Chapter 1. Train your mind to spot chances that others ignore. There comes a time in every person's life when they look around and wonder why some people grow and others stay in the same place. Why some move ahead while others feel stuck. Why one person sees a path forward and another sees only confusion. The difference is not luck, and it is not talent. The difference is how a person trains their mind to notice what others walk past. A mind trained to spot chances gains a huge advantage in life. I have seen it again and again. Two people stand in the same room, and one sees a door while the other sees a door. The room is the same. The people are not. The mind is the difference. When you want to increase your income or change your financial life, the first thing you must work on is not the money itself. It is your ability to notice what helps you grow. Most people are not short on chances. They are short on awareness. They are short on the ability to recognize a small opening that can turn into something meaningful. It might be a skill you can learn. It might be a person you can talk to. It might be a habit you can start building. Life gives signals all the time. Those signals are not loud. They do not shout. They come quietly. Only a trained mind pays attention. A trained mind begins with a simple rule. Pay attention. Not in a casual way, in a serious way, a way that treats every moment as a chance to learn. Most people coast through their days without awareness. They repeat the same actions because they feel familiar. They follow the same patterns because the patterns feel safe. Real growth starts when you begin to notice what is happening around you and inside you. When you start asking questions, when you look at your day with purpose, when you decide that nothing is too small to matter, because the truth is that chances often hide inside small things. One of the strongest skills you can build in life is the skill of awareness. Awareness sharpens your thinking. Awareness wakes up your instinct. Awareness pushes you to see more than the surface. When someone speaks, listen to the meaning behind their words. When you face a problem, notice what it is trying to show you. When you feel uncomfortable, pay attention to what. A person who understands their own thoughts can notice opportunities much faster than a person who drifts through their routine with no attention. Awareness turns the ordinary into a lesson. It turns daily life into training. It turns every situation into a chance to grow. Think about how often people miss opportunities because they believe chances should arrive in big, obvious ways. They wait for someone to hand them a perfect moment. They wait for a big sign. They wait for life to choose them. But life does not work this way. Chances often look simple. They look small. Sometimes they look unpleasant. Sometimes they look like extra work. Sometimes they look like something you do not feel ready for. A trained mind does not wait for perfect conditions. A trained mind notices the small openings that other people ignore because they appear too early or too small. If you want to train your mind to notice these things, start by changing how you respond to your thoughts. When you feel the urge to delay something useful, pause and question the urge. When you feel discouraged, ask yourself what the feeling is trying to block. When you feel bored, ask yourself what you are avoiding. Training your mind means becoming a student of your own behavior. You watch your actions the same way you would watch a friend. You observe with honesty. You notice your excuses. You notice your habits. You notice where your attention goes. This self-observation is powerful because the mind cannot grow if it remains unseen. Once you become aware of your patterns, you can guide your attention toward better ones. Instead of focusing on what you dislike, direct your mind toward what you can do. Instead of focusing on what you fear, direct your mind toward what you can learn. Instead of focusing on what you lack, look at what you already have that can be improved. People who grow financially are not the ones with perfect conditions. They are the ones who train their minds to work with what they have. They look for chances in daily life. They take small steps. They use simple opportunities. They stay awake mentally. Another part of training your mind is learning to think in terms of possibilities. Many people think in terms of limits. Their mind quickly rejects ideas. They say things like, "I cannot do that," or "it is too hard," or "it will not work for me." When your mind rejects ideas quickly, it never gets a chance to explore them. Possibility thinking does not mean blind positivity. It means giving your mind space to search. It means asking yourself, how can this help me grow? Or what skill can I build here? Or what step can I take from this point? When you think this way, you start noticing paths that others cannot see. Chances often appear during conversations. A trained mind listens differently. Instead of waiting for a turn to speak, it listens for information that can lead to progress. It listens for gaps. It listens for needs. It listens for chances to contribute. Many financial opportunities start from understanding others. A person speaks about a problem they have. Another person hears only the problem. A trained mind notices that the problem might be a chance to offer a service, or build a skill, or create value. The difference is simple awareness. Chances also appear inside daily discomfort. When something feels challenging, most people retreat. A trained mind moves toward it. Not recklessly, but deliberately. Challenging areas often hold the most growth. When you notice discomfort, you are noticing an area where you can become stronger. Many people ignore these signals. They ignore them because discomfort feels unpleasant. But discomfort is one of the clearest signs of an opportunity to grow. When you face something difficult, your mind stretches. When your mind stretches, you expand your ability to earn more. When you train your mind deeply, you no longer walk through life numb. You begin to see your day differently. You notice behavior you can improve. You notice relationships you can build. You notice skills you can practice. You notice mistakes you can correct. You notice ideas worth exploring. Life becomes more meaningful when your awareness grows. You stop blaming conditions. You stop blaming luck. You take ownership of the chances around you. Training your mind is not a one-day activity. It is a daily choice. A trained mind comes from repetition. You train it by paying attention each morning. You train it by noticing your actions during the day. You train it by reflecting each evening. You train it by asking yourself what you learned. This daily practice sharpens your thinking. In time, you begin to see patterns. You begin to notice the same types of chances repeating. You begin to understand what works and what does not. You begin to trust your judgment. This trust is important because a person who trusts their mind can act faster when opportunities appear. When you reach this level of mental training, something powerful happens. Your income begins to rise not because you chase quick gains, but because you see things earlier.
You see what needs to be done. You see who you need to become. You see what step matters most right now. Most people wait for perfect timing. A trained mind creates timing. It acts when it sees even a small opening. Your ability to earn more money grows when your ability to notice opportunities grows. People lose chances, not because they are unlucky, but because their attention is weak. When your attention sharpens, your life sharpens. Training your mind to spot chances is one of the most profitable things you can do. Train it to notice small improvements. Train it to notice your own thoughts. Train it to notice your own thoughts. Train it to notice what others leave behind. The world is full of opening. A well-trained mind sees them. An untrained mind walks past them. Your future wealth depends on which mind you choose to build. The mind that drifts or the mind that notices. The mind that waits or the mind that acts. When you train your mind to spot chances that others ignore, your life changes in ways you never imagined. Not because life suddenly becomes easier, but because you become stronger, more aware and more capable of creating your own path.
Chapter 2. Build mental habits that push you toward higher income. There comes a stage in a person's life where earning more money stops being about talent or luck and becomes a matter of building the right habits inside the mind. People often search for a new strategy or a new shortcut, forgetting that income rises when the mind rises first. A person's life moves in the direction of their daily thinking. If the thinking stays small, the income stays small. If the thinking grows, opportunities start appearing that were once invisible. Mental habits shape how you respond to challenges, how you make decisions, how you use your time, how you handle pressure, and how you act when others slow down. When you build the right mental habits, you design a mind that supports higher income instead of blocking it. Every person has habits in how they think. Some habits build strength. Some weaken it. Some habits open doors. Others close them. What separates people who grow from those who remain stuck is the habit of choosing thoughts that move life forward. This is where real growth begins. Building mental habits is not about changing everything overnight. It is about creating a way of thinking that supports progress day after day. A good mental habit becomes a quiet force that drives your actions without needing to be pushed. When you create enough of these habits, they begin shaping your identity. Your identity then leads you toward the income you want, not away from it. One of the most powerful habits is the habit of deciding what truly matters each day. Most people start their day reacting to whatever appears first. They check their phone, they respond to a message, they follow distractions without awareness. When your mind does not choose its priorities, something else chooses for you. Income grows when you train your mind to begin each day with clarity. You take a moment to ask yourself what action today supports your future. Even one small, clear decision can change the direction of a day. A mind that practices clear decisions avoids the trap of wasting energy on tasks that give nothing back. Another mental habit that pushes you toward higher income is the habit of staying aware of your progress. Many people work hard but never stop to measure their actions. When progress is not measured, it becomes easy to lose direction. Awareness of progress keeps you grounded. It helps you know when to speed up, when to adjust, and when to change your approach. A person who tracks their growth becomes more confident because they can see their own development. Confidence is not luck. Confidence grows when you notice your efforts working. The stronger your confidence becomes, the more willing you are to aim higher. People often underestimate how much income is connected to emotional control. Building the habit of staying steady during pressure makes a dramatic difference in how you handle opportunities. When you let frustration push you, you make poor choices. When fear controls your thinking, you avoid useful risks. When doubt fills your mind, you delay important action. A trained mind learns to slow down its reactions. It learns to breathe through stress. It learns to stay calm long enough to think clearly. Emotional discipline is not about shutting down feelings. It is about managing them so they do not control your direction. A mind that stays steady earns more because it makes better choices. Another habit worth building is the habit of curiosity. People who grow financially are not the ones who believe they know everything. They are the ones who stay open to learning. Curiosity pulls you toward information that can help you. It leads you to people who can teach you something meaningful. It pushes you to explore options you once ignored. Curiosity keeps the mind alive and flexible. When the mind becomes rigid, growth stops. When the mind stays curious, it continues expanding, and with expansion comes new income paths. You also need the habit of honest self-talk. Many people spend their lives speaking to themselves in ways that weaken their drive. They say they are not ready. They say they are behind. They say they are not good enough. These thoughts drain energy and create limits. A strong mental habit is choosing honest but empowering thoughts. Not fake confidence. Not empty positivity. Honest words that remind you of your ability to grow. You tell yourself that you can learn. You tell yourself that you can improve. You remind yourself that every person who succeeded started from somewhere. Honest self-talk keeps you grounded, but hopeful. It keeps you aware of your flaws but not defined by them. Another habit that builds financial strength is the habit of finishing what you start. Many people begin tasks with excitement, but lose energy halfway through. Income grows when you train your mind to stay with a task until it is complete. A finished task builds momentum. A finished task raises self-trust. When you finish one thing, you are more willing to start the next one with confidence. People who complete tasks consistently become dependable. Dependable people grow faster. They handle bigger responsibility. They earn more because others trust their ability to deliver. You also need the habit of protecting your attention. Attention is one of the highest forms of power a person has. Income rises when attention is directed toward meaningful actions. When attention is scattered, progress slows down. A powerful mental habit is choosing what deserves your attention and what does not. You may not control every distraction, but you can control how long you allow it to pull you away from your goals. Protecting your attention builds mental strength. It trains your brain to stay on track even when the world around you tries to pull you in different directions. Another mental habit that pushes income higher is the habit of taking responsibility quickly. People who grow do not wait for someone else to create change. They do not wait for the perfect moment. They do not blame their circumstances. They look at what they can do now. They take the first step instead of waiting for permission. Responsibility builds maturity. Maturity builds stability. Stability builds trust in yourself. When responsibility becomes a habit, you take actions sooner. You adapt faster. You succeed more often because you are not stuck waiting for someone to rescue you. Another important mental habit is the habit of asking yourself hard questions. Questions like, what behavior is slowing me down? What belief am I holding that no longer serves me? What action would move me forward today? Where am I wasting time? Hard questions build awareness. Awareness leads to change. Change leads to higher income. Many people avoid these questions because they feel uncomfortable, but discomfort often reveals the truth. When you face the truth, you gain power. When you gain power, your direction improves. A strong mental habit is the habit of staying patient while you work. Many people give up too early because they expect results too fast. Income growth is not instant. It comes from a combination of learning, effort, consistency,
and timing. Patience trains your mind to stay committed without losing hope. When you stay patient, you avoid making emotional decisions. You avoid quitting in the middle of progress. You avoid rushing into mistakes. Patience and effort together create results that last. Another key habit is the habit of seeking value before reward. People who grow financially think differently. They ask themselves how they can contribute. They search for ways to add value. When you build the habit of offering value first, you naturally attract opportunities. People trust you more. People respect your work. People notice your consistency. Over time, your value becomes the reason your income rises. Reward follows contribution. Contribution follows effort. Effort follows the right mindset. A powerful mental habit is learning to adjust instead of complaining. Complaints slow progress. They drain energy. They create a mindset focused on problems rather than solutions. A mind trained for growth looks at a setback and asks what needs to change. Adjustment is a sign of maturity. Adjustment means you are willing to adapt your approach instead of giving up. A person who adjusts grows faster, works smarter, and finds solutions others miss. Another habit that builds a stronger financial future is the habit of protecting your energy. Income does not only rise from physical work, it rises from mental strength. You need energy to think clearly, to make smart choices, to stay consistent, and to handle pressure. Protecting your energy means choosing what you allow into your mind. It means stepping back from environments that weaken you. It means giving yourself time to recharge. A tired mind makes poor decisions. A rested mind sees opportunities with clarity. As you build these habits, something powerful begins to happen. Your mind becomes more stable. Your choices become sharper. Your direction becomes clearer. You stop chasing everything and start focusing on what moves you closer to your goals. You stop repeating old patterns that kept you stuck. You begin feeling more confident because your habits support your growth. A mind filled with strong habits becomes a source of strength you can rely on. It becomes the engine behind your progress. Income rises when the mind rises. A strong income comes from a strong mental foundation. The habits you build today become the reason you grow tomorrow. When you commit to building mental habits that push you toward higher income, you are shaping a future built on discipline, clarity, responsibility, patience, and awareness. These habits turn your daily actions into progress. They turn simple choices into long-term advantage. They turn effort into a lifestyle. And once these habits become part of who you are, your ability to earn rises naturally because your mind is prepared for growth.
Chapter 3. Strengthen your focus so your actions truly create progress. There comes a point in every person's journey where they realize that effort alone is not enough. People work hard every day, yet many do not move forward. They start strong, but their results stay the same. They take action, but nothing seems to change. The reason is simple. Action without focus does not create progress. It creates movement, but not direction. It creates noise, but not growth. When you want to change your income and your future, you must learn to strengthen your focus so your actions finally begin to produce results that matter. A person with strong focus uses their time differently. They use their mind differently. They choose what deserves their energy. They decide what deserves space in their day. Focus is not a natural gift. It is a skill you build. It is a habit you practice. It is a decision you make again and again. Without focus, you drift. With focus, you rise. Many people misunderstand focus. They think it means doing more. They think it means filling the day with non-stop activity. But real focus is the opposite. Real focus means directing your energy toward the few actions that actually move your life forward. It means cutting out the noise that steals your attention. It means choosing progress over distraction. The world is full of distractions that look harmless, but slowly weaken your direction. A focused mind sees through these distractions and chooses what matters most. Strengthening your focus begins with clarity. If you do not know what you want, you cannot focus. Many people try to improve their income while carrying a confused mind. They say they want change, but they have not defined what kind of change. They say they want more money, but they have not identified why. A person without clarity reacts to everything. A person with clarity responds only to what helps them grow. When your mind knows the outcome you want, it becomes easier to concentrate your energy. Clarity turns focus into a natural behavior. Once you gain clarity, the next step is learning to remove mental noise. Mental noise comes from unfinished tasks, emotional clutter, and unhealthy thinking patterns. These things drain attention. They sit in the back of your mind and weaken your ability to concentrate. A strong focus grows when you learn to clear mental space. You decide which thoughts help you. You let go of thoughts that hold you back. You stop feeding worries that go nowhere. You stop revisiting mistakes that you already learned from. You stop carrying burdens that add nothing to your progress. A mind with less noise can aim its energy with much more strength. Another important part of strengthening your focus is building the habit of finishing what you start. Many people lose focus because they jump from one task to the next. They start 5 things and complete none. This weakens confidence. It weakens discipline. It weakens direction. A simple habit that transforms your focus is making a promise to finish the tasks you begin. When you complete something fully, your mind feels more organized. Completion creates mental clarity. Clarity strengthens focus. Focus turns into progress. Concentration grows when you learn to give your full attention to one thing at a time. Multitasking is one of the biggest traps people fall into. It makes you feel productive, but it divides your mind. Divided attention leads to slow progress. Concentrated attention leads to strong results. When you commit to focusing on one task fully, your mind becomes sharper. Your actions become stronger. You finish faster. You feel more satisfied. From that satisfaction comes motivation to continue. Focus builds momentum, and momentum builds progress. Another factor that strengthens focus is your environment. You cannot expect your mind to stay concentrated if your surroundings constantly pull you in different directions. Many people try to work in environments filled with noise, interruptions, or clutter. These conditions weaken focus. A supportive environment is one that helps your mind stay steady. It might mean cleaning your space. It might mean turning off unnecessary noise. It might mean limiting access to distractions. A strong mind grows faster in a clear space. Your environment is not everything, but it plays a powerful role in how well you can focus. One habit that supports strong focus is planning your day with intention. When you wake up and simply follow whatever comes first, you lose control of your time. To strengthen focus, you need a simple plan that guides your actions. Not a complicated schedule, just a few clear priorities. When you choose 3 meaningful actions for the day, your focus becomes sharper. You know what matters. You know what deserves your attention. You know what you must complete before the day ends. A small plan can create powerful results because it gives your focus a direction. Another part of strengthening your focus is learning to protect your energy. A tired mind cannot concentrate. A stressed mind cannot think clearly. A mind filled with frustration cannot stay steady.
You need enough energy to focus well. This means resting when needed, taking time to breathe, and giving your mind space to recover. Many people try to force focus while exhausted. This only leads to more mistakes and slower results. Resting your mind is not a weakness, it is a strategy. When your mind is rested, your focus becomes sharp and your actions become effective. A strong focus also comes from building discipline around your choices. Focus is not only about thinking, it is about choosing. It is about saying yes to the right actions and saying no to distractions that do not support your goals. Every time you avoid a distraction, you strengthen your focus. Every time you choose a meaningful action over an easy one, you strengthen your focus. Every time you resist the urge to waste time, you strengthen your focus. Discipline is trained through small daily decisions. These decisions shape your mental strength. Strengthening your focus also requires emotional awareness. When emotions take over, focus disappears. If you feel frustrated, angry, lonely, or overwhelmed, your mind will struggle to stay centered. You must learn to recognize when your emotions are affecting your concentration. Instead of ignoring them, acknowledge them, understand them, calm them. When your emotions are steady, your focus becomes firm. Emotional awareness is not a soft skill. It is a vital part of strong focus. Another key step in building focus is reducing unnecessary commitments. Many people overload their schedules and then wonder why they cannot concentrate. When your life is filled with too many tasks, your mind becomes scattered. You must learn to simplify. You do not need to say yes to every request. You do not need to be everywhere. You do not need to chase every idea. When you remove unnecessary commitments, your mind gains room to focus on what matters most. Progress grows faster when your life is not overfilled. Focus strengthens when you surround yourself with people who respect your goal. If the people in your daily life constantly distract you, interrupt you, or influence you negatively, your focus weakens. You need people who understand your direction, people who support your growth, people who encourage your discipline. The quality of your environment includes the quality of your relationships. Strong focus requires emotional support, not constant noise. Choose people who add stability to your life. Another part of focus is learning to stay present. Many people lose concentration because they think too much about the past or worry too much about the future. They carry yesterday's mistakes into today's actions. They fear what will happen tomorrow and lose power in the present moment. When you bring your attention fully into what you are doing right now, your mind becomes powerful. Your actions become sharper. Your results become stronger. Staying present builds a mind that can direct its energy fully. To strengthen your focus, you must also build confidence in your ability to grow. When you doubt yourself, your focus weakens. Doubt pulls your attention away from the task. Doubt creates hesitation. Doubt introduces fear. Confidence gives your mind stability. When you believe you can grow, your focus becomes easier to maintain. You invest more energy. You commit more deeply. You stay consistent. Confidence and focus grow together. Another important element of strong focus is intention behind your action. When your actions have no purpose, your mind drifts. But when you connect each action to a meaningful goal, your focus becomes much stronger. You understand why you are doing what you are doing. You feel more responsible. You feel more driven. Purpose gives your focus strength. A mind fueled by purpose works with clarity. One more key aspect is learning to adjust quickly when life interrupts you. Even the most focused person experiences unexpected challenges. What matters is how fast you come back to your direction. Some people get distracted and stay off track for hours. Others return quickly. Returning quickly is a trained habit. It builds mental toughness. It shows commitment. The faster you refocus, the faster you progress. As your focus strengthens, you begin noticing something powerful. Your actions start connecting. Your decisions start aligning. Your days start producing results. You stop wasting time on meaningless tasks. You begin moving forward in a straight line. This is when progress becomes real. This is when your confidence grows. This is when your income begins to rise. When your mind stays focused, you take actions that matter. You build skills. You deepen discipline. You grow stronger. Focus becomes a tool that supports your entire life. Progress is not created by chance. It is created by consistent, concentrated action. When you strengthen your focus, you give your actions the power they need to create change. A focused mind can build a new future. A focused mind can rise above old habits. A focused mind can create opportunities that once seemed impossible. And when your focus becomes part of who you are, your ability to grow becomes unstoppable.
Chapter 4. Guide your thoughts toward choices that grow your earnings. When you think about growing your earnings, the first place to start is not your bank account, but the direction of your thoughts, because your thoughts quietly guide every choice you make. When a person begins to earn more, it usually happens long before the money arrives on paper. It starts when they adjust how they think about effort, opportunity, time, and responsibility. If you want your earnings to rise, you must first guide your inner world in a way that supports that rise. Many people try to change their results while holding on to the same thinking that produced those results. That is why nothing changes. When you learn to guide your thoughts toward choices that support higher earnings, you give yourself a chance to grow in ways that are real and lasting. The most powerful shift begins with noticing how often your mind chooses comfort instead of growth. Comfort feels pleasant in the moment, but it keeps your earnings small because it pushes you to avoid hard tasks. When your thoughts lean toward comfort, you say things like "I will do it later," or "I do not feel ready," or "I might fail." These thoughts sound simple, but they slowly build a life where opportunities slip by. To guide your mind toward better choices, you need to teach yourself to think in a way that supports forward motion. This is not about forcing yourself, it is about understanding the kind of thoughts that help you move, because when your thinking moves, your life follows. One of the most important thoughts to build is the idea that effort today builds freedom tomorrow. When you keep this idea close, your choices begin to change. Instead of avoiding a task, you begin to consider how doing it will increase your skills or open more chances. When you remind yourself that effort is not punishment, but preparation, your actions become more consistent. A person who sees effort as preparation chooses differently. They wake up earlier, they notice small opportunities, they follow through on things they used to ignore. These choices may not look dramatic, but they create steady progress, and steady progress builds higher income. Another key idea is believing that you can learn any skill you truly decide to learn. Many people limit their earnings because they believe they are not good at something, and they stop before they even try. When your mind is guided by the thought that learning is always possible, you open more doors for yourself. You may not know how to sell yet. You may not understand money management yet. You may not feel confident speaking to people yet. But when you see every ability as learnable, you give yourself permission to grow. You start searching for what you can add to your life instead of focusing on what you lack. This shift in thinking creates new behavior, and new behavior creates new income. Your thoughts also influence how you handle time. Some people see time as something that must be filled. Others see it as something that can be shaped. When you guide your thoughts to see time as a resource, you become more intentional. You begin asking yourself, what action today will move me a little closer to the life I want? This simple question changes how you spend your day. You turn idle hours into useful ones. You direct your attention toward tasks that pay off. When your time is guided by purpose, your income begins to grow because you stop wasting hours on activities that offer nothing in return. There is also the way you think about problems. Problems can either stop you or strengthen you. If your thoughts tell you that a challenge means you should back away, your choices will reflect that. But if you guide your thoughts to see problems as signs that you are moving, you begin to respond with more courage. You do not run from difficulty. You analyze it. You try again. You adjust. People who rise financially are rarely the ones with the easiest lives. They are the ones who guide their thinking in a way that keeps them moving, even when things are inconvenient. They use problems to grow instead of using them as excuses. Another powerful shift grows from the thought that money responds to value. When you train your mind to focus on value, your choices change. You begin asking how you can become more useful, how you can solve more problems, how you can improve the quality of your work. When your thoughts are guided by value, you stop looking for shortcuts, because you know that strong value brings strong income. You invest more energy into practicing your craft. You study people who are ahead of you. You pay attention to what customers or employers truly need. This kind of thinking naturally raises your income because it drives you to make better decisions. Your thoughts also affect how you see responsibility. Some people avoid responsibility because it feels heavy. Others understand that responsibility creates growth. When you guide your thoughts to welcome responsibility, your life expands. You take on projects you once avoided. You offer more help without waiting to be asked. You manage your tasks with more commitment. This mindset increases your value and raises the kind of opportunities you attract. People who earn more are usually those who decided to accept more responsibility long before the reward arrived. Another shift comes from choosing thoughts that support courage rather than fear. Fear creates hesitation, and hesitation blocks progress. When you guide your mind to move with courage, your choices become stronger. Courage does not mean you do not feel fear. It means you do not let fear decide for you. When your thoughts support courage, you speak up more often. You try new paths, you build connections you would have avoided before. Every courageous choice increases your experience and your confidence, and both of these raise your earning potential. It is also important to guide your thoughts away from comparison. Comparing yourself to others steals focus and slows growth. When your thoughts stay centered on your own progress, your choices become healthier. You stop worrying about who is ahead or behind you. You spend more time improving your own skills. You use your energy to build your life instead of watching others build theirs. This kind of focus leads to real improvement, and real improvement leads to higher income, because you direct your attention toward what you can control. Your thoughts shape the expectations you carry. If you expect little, you choose little. If you expect growth, you behave in a way that creates growth. When you guide your thoughts to expect more from yourself, your daily actions rise to meet that expectation. You start holding yourself to a higher standard. You become more careful with your habits. You show up with more intention. These small lifts in behavior create big lifts in results over time. Another key thought to guide is the belief that your income expands as you expand. Many people want higher earnings without becoming a stronger person, but income follows growth. When you guide your mind to see personal growth as the foundation for financial progress, you start working on your discipline, your communication, your confidence, your emotional control, your consistency, and your problem solving. Every bit of growth in these areas leads to better decisions, and those decisions shape your earning power. When guiding your thoughts toward better choices, you must also learn to catch unhelpful thoughts before they guide your action. Thoughts like "I cannot do this" or "nothing ever works for me" or "I am too late" weaken your progress.
When you catch these thoughts, you can replace them with ideas that support your direction. You can tell yourself, I can learn this, or there is always another chance, or I decide my pace. This does not mean lying to yourself. It means guiding your thinking toward what helps you grow instead of what holds you back. A strong way to guide your thoughts is by checking your intention behind every choice. When you ask yourself why you are doing something, your thinking becomes clearer. If your intention supports your growth, you move ahead. If it does not, you adjust your choice. This simple habit strengthens your decision-making. You stop acting on impulse and start acting on purpose. People who earn well do not choose randomly. They choose with intention, and that intention begins inside their thinking. Another important thought to cultivate is patience toward the process. Many people ruin their own progress because they want quick results. When they do not see fast outcomes, they quit. When you guide your mind to understand that growth takes time, you remove the pressure that causes people to stop too soon. Patience helps you stay consistent. Consistency helps you improve. Improvement raises your income. Your thoughts also guide how you treat opportunity. Some people treat opportunities as rare events. Others treat them as normal parts of life. When your mind expects opportunities, you train yourself to notice them more. You listen carefully. You observe people differently. You speak with more intention. You understand that every interaction may open a door. When your thoughts guide you to see opportunities as natural, you begin to attract more of them, because your behavior becomes aligned with growth. When you guide your thoughts with clarity, you help yourself avoid distractions that weaken your progress. Many people lose hours scrolling or talking about things that do not matter. When your thoughts are guided by a desire to grow, you naturally avoid these distractions. You do not need to force yourself. Your thinking simply pushes you to use your time better, because your direction is clear. As you guide your thoughts toward choices that grow your earnings, you begin to see your life through a different lens. You recognize that every day brings chances to learn. You notice how your habits shape your direction. You understand that your income rises when your thinking rises. You realize that you are not stuck. You are simply one strong thought away from a new choice. Every improvement begins with your thought. Guide them toward progress, and your actions will follow. Guide them toward higher standards, and your results will rise. Train your thinking, and your income will grow because your choices will grow with it.
Chapter 5. Practice clear thinking that helps you make better money moves. Clear thinking is one of the most valuable tools you can build when you want to make stronger money moves. Many people believe that earning more depends mainly on luck or timing, but much of it comes down to the quality of your decisions. When your thinking is cloudy, you act on impulse, you react emotionally, and you choose based on pressure instead of intention. When your thinking is clear, you see situations for what they are. You separate facts from noise, and you make choices that help you grow instead of choices that create stress later. Clear thinking gives you the power to understand what matters, what does not, and what deserves your time. If you want your income to rise, your decisions have to rise first. And clear thinking is what makes that possible. To practice clear thinking, you have to start by slowing down enough to understand what is happening inside you. Many financial mistakes come from acting quickly without understanding why you are doing something. When you take a moment to breathe and observe your thoughts, you begin to notice patterns you did not see before. You start to see when you feel rushed. You notice when your emotions push you toward a choice. You notice when you feel pressure to impress someone. When you catch these moments, you gain control over the decision instead of letting the moment control you. A clear mind knows when to pause and when to move. This simple awareness becomes the foundation of better money moves. Clear thinking also means separating your needs from your wants. A lot of people mix the two without even noticing it. When everything feels like a need, it becomes easy to spend without thinking. You buy something because it feels urgent even when it is not. You say yes to something because you want a moment of relief, not because it helps you grow. When you practice clear thinking, you begin asking yourself honest questions before acting. Do I truly need this? Will this help me move closer to the life I want? Is this decision supporting my future or only my feelings in this moment? These questions bring clarity. When you answer honestly, your choices shift in a healthier direction. Another part of clear thinking is learning to recognize the real cost of your decisions. Many people only look at the price but not the long-term impact. For example, saying yes to a small daily expense may feel harmless, but over time it takes away resources you could have used for something meaningful. Accepting a low-paying opportunity may feel comfortable at first, but it may prevent you from looking for something better that demands more of you. When you think clearly, you look beyond the moment. You ask yourself how this choice shapes your habits, your confidence, your growth, and your future earnings. You begin to understand that every decision carries a cost, not just in money but in time, energy, and potential. Clear thinking also requires emotional control. When you let your emotions take over, your decisions become unstable. Anger can push you to quit too soon. Fear can keep you from trying something new. Excitement can make you jump into commitments you are not ready for. When you practice emotional control, you learn to sit with your feelings without allowing them to direct your actions. You can feel nervous but still take a smart step. You can feel frustrated but still hold yourself to your plan. You can feel discouraged but keep moving forward. This stability improves your money moves because it protects you from choices that come from impulse instead of intention. To build clear thinking, you also need to question your assumptions. Many people follow beliefs they never examine. They make decisions based on ideas they picked up from family, friends, or society, even if those ideas no longer fit their life. When you question your assumptions, you begin to see where your thinking needs adjustment. You might realize that you underestimated your ability. You might discover that you accepted limits that are not real. You might notice that you assume every opportunity is risky when some opportunities are actually safe and promising. When you question the beliefs running in the background of your mind, you remove barriers that block your progress, and you give yourself room to make decisions that match your true goals. Clear thinking also means gathering facts before making a choice. Many people guess instead of research. They assume instead of learning. They react instead of evaluating. When you practice clear thinking, you develop the habit of checking the facts first. You read, you ask questions, you compare options, and you wait until you understand the situation well enough to act with confidence. This does not mean you move slowly. It means you move smart. The time you invest in understanding something always pays you back because it keeps you from walking into mistakes you could have avoided. Another key part of clear thinking is learning to see your situation without exaggeration. Some people exaggerate problems and create fear. Others exaggerate their strengths and become careless. Clear thinking stays balanced. It helps you see your challenges without panic and your strengths without arrogance. This balance makes your money moves more effective because you act based on reality instead of emotion. You understand where you need improvement. You see where you have potential. You face your weaknesses with honesty instead of shame. When you see yourself clearly, you make choices that match your abilities, and those choices build stronger results. Clear thinking also improves the way you evaluate opportunities. Many people look at opportunities only from the outside. They get impressed by promises and ignore the details. Clear thinking pushes you to look deeper. You check if the opportunity matches your skills. You check if the opportunity helps you grow. You check if the opportunity fits the direction you want your life to move. You understand that not every chance is the right chance. This helps you avoid wasting time on paths that lead nowhere. It also helps you say yes to opportunities that stretch you in the right way. Another important part of clear thinking is understanding the difference between urgency and importance. Urgency tries to grab your attention. Importance quietly shapes your future. When you let urgency control your decisions, you stay busy but not productive.
You respond to noise instead of direction. Clear thinking helps you focus on what truly matters even when other things try to distract you. This gives you the power to use your time wisely, and wise use of time always leads to better money moves. Clear thinking also teaches you to review your decisions. Most people move from one choice to another without stopping to ask what they learn. When you take time to review your decisions, you begin to see patterns. You understand which habits helped you and which ones held you back. You see where you could have acted sooner. You recognize where fear slowed you down. This reflection sharpens your judgment. You start predicting problems before they appear. You make adjustments before mistakes turn into losses. Your money moves become smoother because you grow wiser through your own experience. Clear thinking strengthens your ability to plan. A good plan gives direction. It helps you understand what steps to take and when to take them. When your thinking is clear, your plans become more realistic and more effective. You do not set impossible expectations that discourage you. You do not set weak goals that fail to inspire you. Instead, you create plans that challenge you without overwhelming you. You break big goals into small steps that you can follow day by day. As your clarity increases, your plans become tools that guide your actions, instead of ideas you forget after a few days. Clear thinking also pushes you to build strong standards. Your standards determine what you accept from yourself. When your thinking is unclear, your standards remain low. You accept sloppy work. You tolerate inconsistency. You allow yourself to quit when things get uncomfortable. When your thinking becomes clear, you raise your standards. You expect more from yourself. You hold yourself to a higher level of discipline. You take pride in your actions. These strong standards naturally lead to stronger results, and stronger results lead to higher income. Another powerful benefit of clear thinking is the ability to simplify your life. Many people struggle because they carry too many tasks, too many opinions, and too many worries. When your mind is crowded, your decisions lose strength. Clear thinking removes the unnecessary so you can concentrate on what moves your life forward. You let go of habits that waste time. You step away from people who drain your energy. You stop chasing things that do not matter. You simplify not because life becomes easy, but because clarity requires space. As you simplify, your decisions become stronger and your money moves become cleaner. Clear thinking also improves the way you handle setbacks. When you think clearly, you understand that setbacks are part of progress. So you do not panic when something goes wrong. You do not blame others. You look at the situation with calm eyes and ask what you can learn. You make adjustments. You correct your course. You move forward with more wisdom than before. This steady approach keeps you from quitting. It keeps you from losing direction. It helps you keep your momentum, and momentum is one of the strongest forces behind financial growth. Clear thinking gives you the strength to say no. Many people lose money and time because they say yes to things that do not help them. They say yes to avoid disappointing someone. They say yes because they fear missing out. They say yes because they do not think through the consequences. Clear thinking helps you understand that saying no to the wrong things gives you room to say yes to the right things. You protect your energy. You protect your time. You protect your goals. This discipline supports smarter money moves because your choices stay aligned with your long-term direction. When you practice clear thinking, you also improve the way you speak to yourself. Your self-talk shapes your confidence. When your thoughts are messy, your words become discouraging. You start calling yourself lazy or unlucky or behind. When your thinking becomes clear, your self-talk becomes healthy. You become honest without being harsh. You encourage yourself without lying to yourself. You treat your progress with patience. This balanced inner voice helps you stay steady, and steady people build strong financial futures. Clear thinking turns your mind into a tool that supports your growth instead of a source of confusion. It helps you see opportunities with clarity, challenges with stability, and responsibilities with confidence. When your thinking becomes clear, your choices become stronger. When your choices become stronger, your money moves start creating real progress. This is how you build a life where income rises, Because your mind rises first. Clear thinking is not something you wait for. It is something you practice every day until it becomes a natural part of how you live and how you grow.
Chapter 6. Break old patterns that block your financial growth every day. Breaking old patterns that limit your financial growth is one of the most important steps toward creating real change in your life. Many people work hard year after year and still struggle because their actions follow habits that do not serve their goals. These patterns may be small and unnoticed at first, but over time they build a life that keeps you in the same place. If you want to grow financially, you must first identify the habits that are holding you back, understand why they exist, and replace them with actions that support your future. Change is not about a sudden dramatic shift. It is about consistent choices that replace old behaviors with new ones that move you forward. Every day that you allow the same unhelpful habits to continue, your opportunities shrink. Every day you intentionally act differently, you expand your potential. The first step to breaking old patterns is awareness. Many people do not realize how their daily routines are affecting their growth. They check their phones first thing in the morning, scroll for hours, or respond to every distraction without thinking. These actions may feel small, but they add up and drain time, energy, and focus. To grow financially, you need to observe what you do without judgment and notice which behaviors do not lead to progress. Awareness is the foundation of change because you cannot fix what you do not see. Writing down daily habits or reflecting on your decisions at the end of the day is a simple way to gain clarity. Awareness allows you to recognize patterns that no longer serve you and prepares you to act differently. Once you are aware of these old patterns, the next step is deciding which ones to replace first. Change is most effective when you focus on one behavior at a time. Trying to change everything at once often leads to failure. Instead, identify the habit that is most harmful to your financial growth and commit to adjusting it. It could be overspending, procrastination, avoiding uncomfortable conversations, or ignoring opportunity. Whatever it is, making a conscious choice to address it gives you control over your actions. The key is not perfection, but consistent effort. Each small adjustment weakens the old pattern and strengthens new productive habits. Breaking old patterns also requires understanding the triggers that keep them alive. Every habit is attached to a cue, a situation, a feeling, or an environment that signals your mind to act automatically. For example, you may spend money when you feel stressed, or you may delay work when faced with boredom. Recognizing these triggers allows you to intercept the automatic behavior and choose a different response. If stress causes overspending, you might take a walk or pause before purchasing. If boredom leads to procrastination, you might schedule structured breaks or set a timer for focused work. When you control the triggers, you regain authority over your choices, and your actions begin to align with your goal. Another crucial aspect of breaking old patterns is replacing them with intentional actions. It is not enough to simply stop doing something harmful. You must create new behaviors that serve your financial growth. This could be reading about money management instead of scrolling social media, saving a portion of your income instead of spending impulsively, or planning your day instead of reacting to distractions. Replacement actions give your mind a new routine to follow. The brain craves patterns, so when you feed it constructive behaviors, it gradually forgets the old ones. Consistent repetition of these positive actions over time rewires your thinking and your daily choices. Consistency is the engine of breaking old habits. Many people start strong but lose momentum after a few days. Real change happens when actions are repeated daily, even when motivation fades. Habits are built on repetition, and old patterns will continue if new actions are not reinforced. Setting clear goals, tracking progress, and rewarding yourself for sticking to new behaviors can help maintain consistency. Each day you follow through, no matter how small the action, contributes to long-term growth. The compound effect of small improvements produces results that are difficult to achieve through sporadic effort. Breaking old patterns also requires a shift in mindset. Many habits persist because they are tied to beliefs about yourself or your life. People may think, I am not disciplined enough, I will never be good with money, or I am not meant to earn more. These beliefs act as invisible chains that keep your old patterns alive. To grow financially, you must challenge these thoughts and replace them with empowering beliefs. You are capable of learning new behaviors. You can manage your resources effectively. You can handle responsibility. Shifting your mindset strengthens your ability to implement new actions consistently and confidently. Accountability is another powerful tool for breaking old patterns. When you share your goals or habits with someone who supports your growth, you increase the likelihood of change. Accountability can be a friend, mentor, or coach who encourages your progress and reminds you to stay on track. You do not need harsh judgment, only consistent support. Knowing that someone else is aware of your intentions motivates you to stick to new behaviors, even when it is difficult. Accountability transforms change from a private struggle into a shared commitment, making your progress stronger and more reliable. Another strategy for breaking old patterns is restructuring your environment. Many habits are reinforced by surroundings. Clutter, distractions, unhealthy social circles, or easy access to poor financial decisions can all maintain patterns that block growth. To create space for new behaviors, adjust your environment. Remove temptations that encourage old habits. Surround yourself with resources, tools, and people that support the actions you want to take. Environment shapes behavior more than most people realize. A supportive environment makes new habits easier to practice and old patterns harder to repeat. Breaking old patterns also involves learning to manage discomfort. Many habits continue because people avoid feeling uncomfortable. It is easier to stay in a familiar routine than to take the steps that challenge it. Growth, however, requires discomfort. Making new financial decisions often involves delayed gratification, facing uncertainty, or taking responsibility for mistakes. When you practice tolerating discomfort, you weaken the hold of old patterns. You train yourself to act with intention, even when the easy choice is to stay the same. Over time, discomfort becomes manageable, and progress becomes natural. Reflection is a key habit in dismantling old patterns. Taking time each day to review what you did, what worked, and what could improve strengthens awareness and reinforces new behaviors. Reflection allows you to notice triggers, celebrate successes, and adjust strategies before old patterns regain control. Many people avoid reflection because it can feel uncomfortable to examine mistakes, but this practice is critical for growth. It gives you feedback on your actions and helps you make better decisions tomorrow. Daily reflection compounds into clarity, consistency, and ultimately, higher financial results. Visualization also supports breaking old patterns. Seeing yourself acting differently in realistic scenarios helps train your mind to respond in new ways. You can imagine yourself saying no to an unnecessary purchase, following through on a savings plan, negotiating confidently, or completing a task before procrastination takes over. Visualization prepares your mind to respond effectively in real situations. It reduces hesitation and strengthens the mental pathways required for new behaviors to replace old ones. Another essential practice is celebrating small wins. Many people give up on change because they do not notice progress. When you break a pattern, even slightly, acknowledge it. Each small win reinforces the new habit. It reminds your brain that this action is valuable. Celebrating progress creates motivation to continue, while ignoring success leaves you vulnerable to reverting to old patterns. Positive reinforcement, even in small amounts, strengthens your ability to maintain change over time. Breaking old patterns also requires resilience. You will slip. You will act in old ways from time to time. Change is not linear. The key is to return to your plan quickly, learn from setbacks, and keep moving forward. Resilience strengthens the connection between your intentions and your actions. Without it, old patterns regain control. With it, you gradually weaken the grip of habits that hold you back, creating a steady path toward higher financial growth.
Another strategy is focusing on systems instead of outcomes. Many people try to change habits by focusing only on results. They want a bigger bank balance, but neglect the daily choices that lead there. Systems focus on what you do every day, saving a small portion, tracking expenses, making intentional investments, completing tasks promptly. These actions matter more than hoping for sudden success. By concentrating on the system, you gradually dismantle old patterns that waste time and money, and replace them with habits that build lasting financial stability. Breaking old patterns also involves learning from others who have succeeded. Observing how people with strong financial habits operate can give insight into what is possible. You can see which routines, mindsets, and actions consistently produce growth. Imitating successful strategies is not copying someone else's life, but borrowing wisdom that has already been proven effective. This practice accelerates your own habit change and gives you examples to guide your thinking and actions. Lastly, breaking old patterns requires patience. Real change does not happen in a day or a week. It is the product of repeated choices over time. You must allow yourself to progress gradually and forgive mistakes without losing direction. Each day you act intentionally. Each moment you choose a new path over an old one. Your brain strengthens new patterns. Consistency compounds into mastery. Mastery in your daily actions becomes mastery over your financial results. When you commit to breaking old habits every day, you open the door to lasting growth, stability, and higher earnings that are built on deliberate choices instead of random repetition.
Chapter 7. Develop steady mental discipline that supports long-term income. Developing steady mental discipline is one of the most important skills anyone can cultivate when the goal is long-term income growth. Discipline is not something you are born with. It is a skill that grows through repeated practice and conscious choices. Without it, even the best plans, the clearest goals, and the strongest intentions will falter. Many people believe that earning more money comes from luck, opportunity, or intelligence alone. But in reality, long-term financial success depends heavily on the ability to maintain consistent, focused effort over time. Mental discipline allows you to act according to your priorities rather than your impulses. It ensures that your daily choices support your larger goals. It turns intention into action and action into results. Without discipline, even the smartest strategies are wasted. With discipline, small steps repeated every day accumulate into powerful progress. The first step in developing steady mental discipline is recognizing the difference between short-term desire and long-term value. People frequently chase immediate gratification, and it sabotages their potential. They spend impulsively, give up on plans when it gets uncomfortable, or follow whatever feels easier instead of what matters most. To cultivate discipline, you must train your mind to prioritize the long-term benefits over short-term satisfaction. This does not mean ignoring enjoyment altogether, but it does mean making choices that align with your goals even when it is inconvenient. The more often you choose long-term value, the stronger your discipline becomes. Another essential aspect of mental discipline is creating structure in your daily life. A disciplined mind thrives on routine. When you design a daily schedule with intentional habits that reflect your priorities, you reduce decision fatigue and make your actions more predictable. Structure helps your brain focus on what is important and reduces the temptation to follow distractions. Discipline is not about rigidity, it is about creating a predictable framework that supports consistency. Each small action repeated in a structured way strengthens the neural pathways that make discipline easier over time. You begin to act in alignment with your goals almost automatically. Building steady mental discipline also requires commitment to a clear set of priorities. People often fail because their attention is scattered across too many goals or tasks. Mental discipline demands focus on the few actions that drive the largest impact. This means learning to say no to activities that consume time without delivering value. It means resisting the pull of distractions, unproductive habits, and social pressures that divert your energy. When your mind is aligned with clear priorities, your choices become intentional and consistent, and consistency is the foundation of long-term financial growth. Self-control is another crucial element of mental discipline. Every time you resist a temptation, you strengthen your ability to choose wisely in the future. Self-control is like a muscle. The more you exercise it, the stronger it becomes. This can be applied to spending decisions, work habits, and time management. Resisting impulsive purchases, avoiding procrastination, and keeping focus on strategic tasks are all exercises in self-control. Each time you succeed, your confidence grows, and your ability to maintain discipline increases. Over time, these small acts of self-control accumulate into habits that support steady progress in income and career growth. Another component of discipline is accountability. People often fail to maintain mental discipline because there is no external system reinforcing it. Accountability can come from mentors, peers, or even self-monitoring. Writing down goals, reviewing progress regularly, or having someone to check in with helps reinforce your commitment. Accountability creates a sense of responsibility that strengthens discipline. When you know that your actions are observed or tracked, you are more likely to stay consistent, make better choices, and follow through on your intentions. Resilience is intertwined with mental discipline. Discipline is not about never slipping up. It is about getting back on track immediately. When you do, everyone encounters challenges, distractions, and moments of weakness. What separates successful individuals from the rest is their ability to resume their habits quickly and without hesitation. Resilience ensures that temporary setbacks do not derail long-term progress. By training your mind to recover quickly from errors, you prevent small mistakes from becoming patterns of failure and maintain the momentum necessary for financial growth. Mental discipline also grows through repeated practice of delaying gratification. Delayed gratification teaches the mind to value long-term rewards over immediate pleasure. People who learn to wait, save, invest, or work consistently without expecting instant results develop habits that compound over time. Every decision to wait and act strategically reinforces the capacity for discipline. This habit builds patience, endurance, and foresight, all qualities that strengthen your ability to sustain long-term income growth. Discipline without patience cannot support progress over time, so learning to tolerate discomfort for future benefit is essential. Another important element is controlling your environment to support your goals. Many people fail to maintain discipline because their surroundings encourage old habits. Distractions, negative influences, and cluttered spaces can erode self-control. To strengthen mental discipline, it is necessary to design an environment that makes productive choices easier and unproductive ones harder. This might mean organizing your workspace, limiting access to social media, or spending time with people who share your values. An environment that supports your intentions makes consistent action more natural and reduces the mental effort required to maintain discipline. Mental discipline also requires reflection and feedback. Daily or weekly reflection on your actions helps you understand what is working and what is not. By reviewing your choices, you can identify areas where discipline is slipping and make necessary adjustments. Reflection also reinforces accountability to yourself. Each time you evaluate your progress, you gain insights into how your decisions influence your results. This process strengthens your ability to stay disciplined because it keeps you aware of patterns and encourages conscious improvement. Visualization and mental rehearsal further support discipline. By imagining yourself completing tasks, managing challenges, and achieving goals, you train your mind to respond effectively in real-life situations. Visualization reinforces your commitment to disciplined behavior,
by preparing your brain for consistent action. When you repeatedly picture yourself following through, your subconscious begins to align with your conscious goals. This technique strengthens resolve and prepares you for the inevitable obstacles that come with long-term growth. Setting small, achievable goals is another critical strategy. Discipline becomes easier when progress is visible. Breaking large goals into manageable steps creates momentum and reinforces daily habits. Each completed task boosts confidence and demonstrates that discipline produces tangible results. This momentum encourages further action and establishes a positive cycle of consistency and reward. Steady mental discipline grows fastest when reinforced with small successes that keep you motivated and engaged. Developing discipline also involves managing stress effectively. High levels of stress can weaken resolve and lead to impulsive decisions. To maintain consistent action, it is essential to develop habits that calm the mind, such as deep breathing, short breaks, or focused exercise. When stress is managed, your decisions become more rational and your actions align more closely with your long-term goals. Mental discipline thrives in a stable emotional state because the mind can focus on priorities rather than react to pressure. Another aspect of mental discipline is embracing responsibility. Individuals who take full ownership of their decisions and outcomes build stronger self-control. When you hold yourself accountable for your results, you are less likely to blame external factors and more likely to act consistently. Responsibility strengthens internal motivation, which is a key factor in sustaining long-term income growth. Every time you accept responsibility for a choice, you reinforce the habit of deliberate, disciplined action. Steady mental discipline also grows from learning to anticipate challenges. Financial growth is rarely linear, and obstacles are inevitable. By preparing mentally for difficulties, you reduce the chance that disruptions will derail your progress. Anticipation allows you to create contingency plans and maintain consistency even when circumstances change. The ability to plan for setbacks before they arrive strengthens your resolve and reinforces the habit of acting deliberately rather than reacting impulsively. Another critical aspect is continuous learning. Discipline is reinforced when your mind is engaged and expanding. Reading, observing, and analyzing strengthen mental flexibility and problem-solving skills, which in turn support consistent decision-making. Knowledge and discipline work together because informed choices are easier to make and more likely to align with long-term goals. When you commit to growth through learning, your mental discipline is supported by clarity and insight, creating a foundation for sustainable income growth. Lastly, steady mental discipline is reinforced by commitment to values and principles. When your actions are guided by consistent values, your decisions become automatic, reducing mental resistance. Integrity, reliability, perseverance, and honesty are examples of principles that guide behavior in a consistent, disciplined way. Acting according to your values builds trust, both with yourself and with others, and strengthens your ability to maintain habits that create long-term income growth. Discipline is not a one-time effort, it is a daily practice, a repeated choice to align your actions with your priority. Each day you follow your habits, control your impulses, act consistently, and reflect on your progress. You strengthen the mental structures that sustain long-term financial growth. Over time, the small daily choices compound into remarkable results. Income, opportunities, and stability follow naturally from a mind trained to act consistently, thoughtfully, and persistently. Steady mental discipline turns intention into action, and action into progress. It is the bridge between dreams and results, between effort and lasting financial success.
Chapter 8. Teach your brain to choose effort that actually pays off. Effort is not equal. Many people spend endless energy on tasks that bring little to no result. They work hard every day, yet wonder why their income and success remain stagnant. The difference between those who grow financially and those who remain stagnant is not simply how much they work, but how they direct their effort. Teaching your brain to choose effort that actually pays off is about understanding what matters, aligning your actions with meaningful results, and consistently applying yourself in ways that compound over time. Effort without direction is wasted energy, and direction without effort is empty intention. When your mind learns to focus on the right kind of work, every action you take moves you closer to your goals, and your energy begins producing real income instead of scattered frustration. The first step is understanding that effort must be intentional. Many people work on autopilot, responding to tasks as they arise, rather than planning for what drives results. Intentional effort requires you to identify the activities that directly impact your financial growth. This could be developing a skill, building a network, creating value, or solving problems that others overlook. By asking yourself which actions produce meaningful outcomes, your brain starts to prioritize wisely. Repetition of intentional effort creates a habit where your mind naturally seeks productive opportunities and ignores distractions that do not matter. Another key principle is learning to evaluate the return on your effort. Not all hard work produces the same result. Some tasks take hours yet deliver minimal impact, while others require moderate energy but yield significant rewards. To teach your brain to focus, begin tracking your actions and measuring results. Pay attention to which tasks lead to skill development, income growth, or new opportunities. When you consistently evaluate outcomes, your mind learns to favor high-impact activities. This process strengthens your ability to choose wisely, conserve energy, and maximize your results with less wasted effort. Focus is essential for effort to pay off. Multitasking or dividing attention between too many tasks reduces effectiveness. The brain cannot operate at maximum efficiency when attention is scattered. To direct your effort productively, focus on one important task at a time. This does not mean ignoring other responsibilities. It means giving priority to the work that produces the greatest benefit first. Deep, concentrated effort amplifies results and creates momentum. Over time, your brain learns that focused action produces greater returns than scattered busyness, reinforcing the habit of productive effort. Another important principle is learning to delay gratification. Many people exert energy in ways that provide immediate satisfaction, but no long-term value. They seek recognition, quick wins, or easy rewards, which rarely build lasting income. Teaching your brain to choose effort that pays off involves training yourself to invest energy in activities that produce future benefits. This could be studying a skill, creating a product, building relationships, or saving money. Each choice reinforces the brain's understanding that meaningful effort is often uncomfortable or delayed, but leads to results worth the investment. Consistency is the engine behind productive effort. Effort alone is not enough. It must be repeated regularly. People who sporadically act or only try when motivated rarely see meaningful growth. To train your brain, develop a daily practice of purposeful work. Break larger goals into manageable tasks and commit to completing them consistently. Each day your brain experiences the payoff of steady effort, reinforcing the neural patterns that make focused work habitual. Over time, the brain begins to recognize that consistent directed effort is more valuable than bursts of activity or random energy. Teaching your brain also requires learning to prioritize skill building over busy work. Many people are busy but not productive because they focus on actions that feel urgent rather than important. Real income growth comes from increasing your ability to produce results, not just from activity. Identify tasks that improve your skills, expand your knowledge, or increase your value to others. By consistently choosing skill-enhancing activities, your brain associates effort with long-term payoff rather than short-term busyness. The more your abilities grow, the more opportunities and income follow naturally. Another critical factor is managing energy, not just time. People often exhaust themselves on low-value tasks because they fail to recognize their energy limit. Teaching your brain to choose effort that pays off involves allocating your energy to high-impact actions. Notice when your focus is sharpest, when your mind is most creative, and when your energy supports sustained work. Align your important tasks with these periods. Your brain learns that efficiency is maximized when effort is applied strategically, and you produce more results without unnecessary strain. Reflection reinforces productive effort. Many people work hard but never review outcomes or consider improvement. When you pause to reflect on what actions yield results and what does not, your brain receives feedback that guides future choices. Reflection could be reviewing your tasks weekly, analyzing which efforts generated income or opportunities, and identifying adjustments for the next period. This practice trains your mind to favor high-impact actions and abandon those that do not contribute to your goals. The habit of reflection turns effort into intelligence, making every hour more valuable over time. Decision-making also strengthens effort. Every day presents countless choices about where to apply energy. When your brain is trained to evaluate the potential payoff before acting, effort becomes smarter. Ask which action leads to the most significant results. Which task builds my skills or creates opportunity? By consistently making decisions with results in mind, your brain develops a natural instinct for productive effort. Over time, decision-making becomes faster and more accurate, and your actions are guided by outcomes instead of habit or impulse. Another essential skill is learning to accept discomfort as part of productive effort. Activities that pay off often feel challenging, inconvenient, or unfamiliar. People naturally resist discomfort, which is why they avoid the work that builds skill and income. Teaching your brain to embrace difficult work strengthens persistence. Every time you face resistance, push through and continue, your brain learns that discomfort precedes reward. Over time, effort no longer feels threatening, but becomes an opportunity for growth. Discipline and resilience develop together with this mindset, creating a cycle where challenging effort consistently produces results. Goal alignment is vital for effort to pay off. Random effort, even if intense, rarely leads to meaningful income. Your energy must align with a clearly defined purpose. Identify your financial and personal growth goals, and ensure your daily actions directly contribute to them. When your brain connects effort with goal achievement, it becomes easier to choose wisely and avoid tasks that produce little value. Alignment transforms busy activity into strategic action, ensuring your energy is spent where it matters most. Feedback and mentorship further refine productive effort. People who have successfully grown their income have often learned from those who went before them. Seeking guidance, learning from mistakes, and observing high performers teach the brain which actions produce real results. Mentorship accelerates learning, reduces wasted effort, and strengthens confidence in decision-making. By studying successful patterns and adapting them to your own context, your brain learns the connection between effort and tangible payoff faster than trial and error alone. Another principle is breaking large tasks into smaller steps. Effort that feels overwhelming often leads to avoidance or scattered energy. Teaching your brain to tackle work in manageable portions helps maintain focus and ensures completion. Each completed step reinforces the brain's understanding that disciplined effort produces results. Over time, the brain naturally chooses incremental action over hesitation, creating momentum that compounds toward larger financial gains. Tracking progress strengthens productive effort. People who do not measure outcomes often misjudge where their energy is most effective. By keeping track of results, such as skills developed, money earned, or opportunities created, your brain receives concrete evidence that effort leads to growth. This feedback loop reinforces habits, builds confidence, and encourages continued application of energy in high-value areas. Tracking progress is a simple yet powerful way to teach the brain the payoff of effort.
Prioritizing actions with the highest leverage ensures effort is efficient. Not all tasks have equal impact. Some produce exponential results, while others produce minimal change. Focus on the tasks that move the needle the most, and your brain begins to identify patterns of high-value work. Leverage is learned over time, but once understood, it allows you to multiply results without multiplying hours or stress. Resilience also supports sustained productive effort. You will face failures, setbacks, and tasks that do not immediately pay off. Mental resilience allows you to continue working strategically despite obstacles. Every failure becomes a lesson, every delay an opportunity to refine your approach, and every challenge a test of commitment. Teaching your brain to persevere under pressure ensures that effort is not wasted and that growth continues steadily. Finally, teaching your brain to choose effort that pays off is about forming a mindset of intentional action. Every choice, every task, every hour of energy should be evaluated against its potential contribution to your goal. The brain learns patterns through repetition, so consistent practice in prioritizing, focusing, and following through creates an internal system where productive effort becomes automatic. Over time, this leads to measurable results, steady growth, and financial success that is sustainable, predictable, and increasingly rewarding. When your mind is trained to choose effort strategically, every day becomes an opportunity to build real wealth, not just activity, and every action moves you closer to the life you want.
Chapter 9. Build inner strength that helps you stay consistent daily. Inner strength is the foundation that allows you to stay consistent day after day. Many people struggle to build wealth, improve their skills, or achieve meaningful goals because they rely solely on motivation, luck, or bursts of energy. Motivation comes and goes, energy fluctuates, opportunities may appear, but without inner strength, all of these elements fail to translate into sustained action. Inner strength is what allows you to show up even when you are tired, distracted, or facing challenges. It is the quiet force that pushes you to keep working on your goals when nothing external encourages you. It is built through repeated choice, mental focus, and a commitment to act in alignment with your long-term vision, regardless of short-term discomfort. To develop inner strength, the first step is understanding your why. People who lack inner strength often act reactively or drift through life without a clear sense of purpose. When your reason for doing something is strong enough, it sustains you through difficulties. Ask yourself why your financial growth, your skill development, or your personal improvement matters. Is it freedom, security, pride, independence, or the ability to impact others positively? The stronger your reason, the more resilient your inner strength becomes. When challenges arise, your why becomes a guiding light that pulls you forward. Without it, even the best intentions easily fall apart. Another key to inner strength is creating and following daily routines. Discipline builds resilience. When you develop habits that structure your day around your most important tasks, you remove the need to rely solely on willpower. Consistency is easier when your brain knows what to expect and your actions become automatic. Morning routines, planning your day, scheduling focused work periods, and tracking progress all reinforce inner strength. Repetition strengthens your mental capacity to face tasks without hesitation, and over time, these routines build a strong foundation for consistent daily action. Inner strength also grows through overcoming small challenges consistently. Every time you push through discomfort or accomplish a task you would rather avoid, you expand your capacity to endure difficulty. Small acts of perseverance create confidence that compounds over time. This can be as simple as finishing a task before taking a break, resisting the urge to procrastinate, or making a difficult phone call related to your work. Each small victory teaches your brain that you are capable of persistence, reinforcing the belief that you can handle bigger challenges when they arise. Mental focus is another critical aspect of inner strength. The ability to concentrate on what matters and ignore distractions determines how much progress you make. Many people fail not because they cannot act, but because their attention is constantly pulled in multiple directions. Strengthening inner focus allows you to devote your energy to tasks that produce real results. Start by identifying your highest value activities and dedicating uninterrupted blocks of time to them. Eliminate distractions, silence notifications, and consciously direct your attention. Focus reinforces inner strength because it demonstrates that your mind can control impulses and act according to priorities, not whims. Self-discipline and self-control are central to building inner strength. Every time you resist a temptation, delay gratification, or choose a productive action over an easy one, you strengthen your capacity to stay consistent. Financial decisions, work habits, and lifestyle choices are all opportunities to exercise discipline. Inner strength is less about dramatic gestures and more about countless small decisions made consistently. Each time you act in alignment with your goals, instead of giving in to impulse, your ability to maintain long-term consistency grows stronger. Another essential component is resilience to setbacks. Life is unpredictable, and obstacles are unavoidable. Those without inner strength become discouraged or give up when plans fail, tasks are delayed, or results are slower than expected. Inner strength teaches you to recover quickly from disappointment and continue moving forward. Setbacks are not signals to stop. They are opportunities to adapt, learn, and reinforce your persistence. Resilience strengthens the habit of consistency because it ensures that one failure does not derail months or years of effort. Every challenge you overcome solidifies your ability to remain steady in pursuit of your goals. Inner strength is also cultivated by controlling your mindset. The thoughts you allow to dominate your mind influence your actions far more than external circumstances. People with weak inner strength often let fear, doubt, or negativity dictate their choice. To stay consistent, you must consciously choose thoughts that support perseverance, problem-solving, and confidence. Affirmations, reflection, and self-awareness help you monitor your internal dialogue and shift it toward constructive patterns. A strong mind becomes a reliable ally, pushing you to act even when challenges, fatigue, or uncertainty arise. Accountability is another powerful way to build inner strength. When you commit your goals to someone else, you increase the likelihood of staying consistent. Accountability can take the form of mentors, peers, or tracking systems that record your progress. Knowing that your actions are observed motivates your inner resolve. Accountability does not replace inner strength, but reinforces it by providing an external reminder to align actions with intentions. When the brain senses responsibility, effort becomes more deliberate and habits solidify faster. Patience is closely linked to inner strength. Many people give up too soon because they expect immediate results. True growth takes time, and developing inner strength requires accepting the pace of progress. Patience allows you to continue acting steadily even when outcomes are not yet visible. Each day you persist without immediate reward reinforces the habit of consistency, and the brain begins to associate steady effort with eventual success. Patience also reduces stress, helps maintain clarity, and protects your momentum from being disrupted by temporary frustration. Visualization and mental rehearsal strengthen inner strength by preparing the mind for challenges. Imagine completing tasks, overcoming difficulties, or persisting despite obstacles. Repeatedly rehearsing these scenarios in your mind builds confidence
and prepares your brain to act decisively in real situations. Mental rehearsal reinforces the belief that you can maintain consistency even under pressure. Your mind becomes accustomed to persistence, making it easier to follow through with actions that support long-term growth. Prioritization is another aspect of inner strength. Not all tasks contribute equally to your goal. A strong inner resolve helps you focus on high-impact activities while ignoring distractions and low-value tasks. Many people exhaust energy on things that feel urgent but are ultimately unimportant. By training your mind to prioritize effectively, you protect your energy and maintain consistent progress toward meaningful results. Inner strength grows when your actions consistently reflect careful choices rather than reactive behavior. Another practice that strengthens consistency is reflection. Daily or weekly review of your actions helps you notice patterns, recognize accomplishments, and identify areas for improvement. Reflection allows you to adjust without losing momentum and reinforces the habit of deliberate action. By examining what worked, what failed, and what can be improved, your mind becomes increasingly adept at navigating challenges and maintaining steady performance. Reflection creates a feedback loop that enhances inner strength and supports long-term success. Managing stress effectively is essential for sustaining inner strength. High pressure, unexpected challenges, and fatigue can erode resolve if not addressed. Practices such as deep breathing, exercise, breaks, and mindfulness help maintain clarity and resilience. A strong inner state allows you to act with consistency even in adverse conditions. Stress management prevents temporary pressure from derailing long-term habits, ensuring that daily actions continue to build momentum toward financial and personal growth. Commitment to core values also supports inner strength. Acting consistently according to principles like integrity, reliability, and perseverance strengthens the mind's capacity to endure challenges. When your actions align with your values, decision-making becomes easier, confidence increases, and distractions have less influence. Inner strength is reinforced when the brain recognizes that consistent action is both purposeful and aligned with your belief. Values provide a stable foundation that guides behavior and supports daily consistency. Learning from past experiences reinforces inner strength as well. People who analyze successes and failures gain insight into what strategies support persistence. Each lesson strengthens the brain's ability to anticipate challenges, respond appropriately, and maintain consistency. By using experience as a guide, you create patterns of behavior that become reliable habits, enhancing your capacity to act steadily toward goals. Another essential component is self-reliance. Inner strength grows when you trust yourself to follow through without depending on external motivation. External factors will fluctuate, but self-reliance ensures your actions remain consistent, regardless of circumstances. This creates independence and stability in your approach, allowing long-term progress even when external conditions are unpredictable. Self-trust reinforces commitment and builds confidence in your ability to maintain daily action. Finally, building inner strength requires persistent practice and dedication. It is developed through repeated choice, reflection, and intentional effort. Each day you act in alignment with your priorities, resist distractions, manage stress, and focus on meaningful tasks. You strengthen the mental capacity to remain consistent. Over time, this inner resilience becomes automatic. You no longer need to rely solely on motivation or willpower, because your mind has learned to operate with steady focus and determination. Consistency becomes natural, and your actions compound into results that grow steadily, creating the foundation for long-term income, stability, and success.
Chapter 10. Push your thinking toward work that builds real financial power. Building real financial power is not about luck, trends, or simply working harder than others. It is about training your mind to focus on the types of work that multiply your influence, income, and value over time. Many people spend years laboring in jobs or tasks that provide temporary rewards, but do not create long-term financial strength. They earn money, spend it, and repeat the cycle without building leverage or opportunity. True financial power comes from learning to recognize and engage in activities that generate lasting impact, grow assets, and increase options. It is the difference between trading hours for dollars and creating systems, skills, or networks that produce exponential results. To achieve this, you must cultivate thinking that prioritizes high-value work, develops foresight, and consistently applies energy toward actions that build enduring wealth. The first step is understanding the distinction between busy work and high-value work. Busy work feels productive, but often yields minimal results. It is easy, immediate, and comfortable. High-value work, on the other hand, stretches your abilities, demands focus, and produces outcomes that have lasting financial impact. Teaching your brain to identify the difference is critical. You must constantly ask yourself whether the task you are about to engage in contributes to growth, creates leverage, or opens opportunities. This awareness rewires your decision-making, gradually making high-value work your natural default instead of an occasional effort. Next, you need to cultivate foresight. People who build financial power consistently anticipate opportunities and consequences before taking action. They study markets, observe trends, and understand how their decisions today affect their future wealth. Foresight allows you to invest your time, energy, and resources in ways that multiply over months and years. To develop this, dedicate yourself to continuous learning, analyze outcomes, and review both your successes and failures. Your brain gradually becomes trained to consider the long-term impact of your choices, pushing you toward work that produces sustained financial power rather than short-term satisfaction. Leverage is another cornerstone of building financial strength. Leverage allows your efforts to create more results than you could achieve alone. This can take the form of skills, relationships, capital, or systems. Teaching your mind to prioritize work that leverages these elements multiplies your effectiveness. For example, instead of performing every task yourself, you can delegate, automate, or collaborate with others. Instead of relying solely on your own knowledge, you can invest in learning, partnerships, or tools that extend your influence. Each decision to apply leverage reinforces a mindset that produces more with less friction. And over time, this compound effect becomes the foundation of real financial power. Another critical principle is prioritizing actions that build assets instead of liability. Many people work hard to increase income, but fail to differentiate between spending on consumption versus investment. Financial power grows when your energy is directed toward activities that create ownership, equity, or value that compound. This could be starting a business, developing intellectual property, learning a marketable skill, or investing in instruments that appreciate over time. Teaching your brain to consistently evaluate the potential of a task in terms of asset creation shifts your effort from immediate reward to lasting financial strength. Decision-making under pressure is an essential skill. Building wealth and influence often requires taking calculated risks, making quick judgments, and committing to actions with incomplete information. People with weak financial thinking delay, hesitate, or rely on luck. Mental training involves assessing risks, weighing rewards, and acting decisively in alignment with your long-term goal. Each decision you make builds the neural pathways that strengthen your ability to choose effectively, enhancing your capacity to engage in work that multiplies financial power rather than wasting energy on trivial or reactive tasks. Discipline remains a central component. Consistently directing effort toward high-value work requires resisting distractions, avoiding immediate gratification, and acting according to strategic priority. Mental discipline ensures that your focus remains on activities that build influence, income, and opportunities, even when routine tasks or external pressures compete for attention. Each act of sustained focus reinforces your brain's capacity to maintain long-term action, and over time, consistently compounds into meaningful financial growth. Networking and relationship building are critical elements of work that produces real financial power. Opportunities rarely emerge in isolation. Engaging with individuals who share vision, expertise, or influence expands your reach and access. Teaching your brain to value these relationships as essential to long-term success changes the way you allocate effort. Instead of spending energy on isolated or low-impact activities, you invest in interactions, collaborations, and mentorship that multiply outcomes. Each connection provides potential leverage, guidance, or resources that enhance your ability to generate wealth strategically. Adaptability also strengthens the ability to focus on work that builds lasting financial power. Markets change, industries evolve, and circumstances shift. People who cling to outdated methods or rigid routines often lose opportunity. A flexible mind allows you to pivot, seize new avenues, and optimize your energy toward activities that maintain or increase financial influence. Training your brain to embrace change and respond strategically ensures that your actions remain productive, relevant, and aligned with emerging opportunities. Time management is a critical factor in this process. Every hour is a resource, and the way you allocate it determines the scale of your financial growth. Work that builds true financial power is intentional and prioritized. It is planned rather than reactive. Your brain must learn to distinguish between urgent distractions and tasks that create leverage, develop skills, or generate income streams. By structuring your day, protecting focus periods, and aligning effort with high-impact objectives, you increase the return on every hour worked. Over time, disciplined allocation of time becomes automatic, driving consistent and meaningful results. Another factor is continuous learning and skill development. Real financial power grows from abilities that create value. People who stop improving plateau, regardless of effort. Teaching your brain to prioritize learning ensures that your actions are always expanding your capacity to produce results. This could include formal education, mentorship, practical experience, or self-directed study. Each new skill adds leverage, increases opportunity, and strengthens confidence, reinforcing the habit of working in ways that truly build wealth. Embracing calculated risk is necessary for financial influence. Many people remain in comfort zones, performing tasks that feel safe but do not create leverage. To generate real financial power, your brain must accept risk as part of opportunity. This does not mean reckless decisions. It means evaluating potential rewards, preparing adequately, and acting with courage. Each calculated risk successfully navigated strengthens confidence and reinforces the mindset that effort aimed at high-return work is valuable and necessary. Persistence amplifies the effects of effort over time. Rarely does a single action produce lasting financial power. It is the repeated, deliberate application of energy that compounds into significant results. Teaching your brain to stay committed despite setbacks, delays, or failures ensures that every day contributes to building influence, income, and opportunity. Persistence turns small, consistent actions into exponential outcomes. Reflection and analysis play a vital role in guiding effort toward high-value work. Reviewing which tasks produced results, which decisions led to growth, and which actions wasted energy allows you to fine-tune your focus. By analyzing outcomes consistently, your brain learns to prioritize actions that have real impact while avoiding low-return efforts.
This feedback loop creates a mental habit of strategic thinking and deliberate action. Visualization strengthens commitment to work that produces financial power. When you imagine the outcomes of your effort, whether increased income, expanded influence, or successful projects, you condition your mind to act in alignment with these goals. Mental rehearsal enhances decision-making, focus, and persistence. Each time you visualize success and take concrete action toward it, your brain reinforces pathways that favor productive, high-leverage work. Delegation is another principle of financial power. You cannot do everything yourself. People who try often expend energy on low-value tasks and miss opportunities for high-impact work. Teaching your brain to delegate appropriately allows you to focus on activities that maximize influence and income. Delegation multiplies results by using the time, skills, and effort of others strategically, creating systems that grow independent of your constant presence. Asset-building activities should always take precedence over efficient-driven tasks. Work that contributes to ownership, intellectual property, or income streams has lasting value. Your brain must learn to evaluate tasks in terms of potential asset creation rather than immediate satisfaction. This mindset directs effort toward activities that accumulate wealth, influence, and stability over time. Persistence in networking, learning, risk-taking, and leveraging opportunities collectively reinforces a pattern of action that continuously builds financial power. Each decision, repeated daily and evaluated for impact, strengthens your capacity to act strategically. The brain internalizes the connection between effort and high-value outcome, eventually guiding your focus naturally toward the work that compounds over time. Finally, pushing your thinking toward work that builds real financial power requires vision and courage. It demands the ability to see beyond immediate rewards, to value long-term influence, and to act with intention every day. Your mind must learn to prioritize actions that create leverage, skill, and opportunity while minimizing wasted effort. Consistently practicing these principles transforms ordinary labor into high-impact activity, enabling growth that is exponential rather than linear. Over time, this approach generates financial freedom, stability, and opportunities that continue to expand as long as you remain intentional in your choices. Mental training, focus, discipline, persistence, and strategic action together build the foundation of true financial power.